Hey everybody, Bernie Gallerani, and I have an interesting topic today that was brought into a conversation that I was on yesterday, a training call actually that I was on yesterday, and the topic was avoiding difficult conversations. That's an interesting one, right? Because how many times have any one of us had to have a conversation with somebody that we didn't really want to engage in, but we knew it had to happen? I've had that probably quite a few times. And so here's what's interesting. Like, do you procrastinate it and let that fester like inside of yourself? And I know even within the business that I have, there's conversations that have to take place that I kind of try to put on the back burner. I probably shouldn't. Probably should be the first thing that I do, but it's hard. It's hard work it's hard emotionally, I should say, to have a conversation with somebody that you know is going to be a challenging conversation. So how do we do it, right? I love Mel Robbins, and she always has this great book called The 5-Second Rule. What I try to do is apply that. If you guys have never read The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, you should get it. It's a great book. And there's another great one that she has called Let Them, which is another fantastic book for a great read. But if you have the 5-second rule, meaning you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just have the conversation, make the phone call, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you call to set up the difficult conversation. It's better to get it off your plate, because what happens is it just kind of festers inside and you dwell on it. And then you're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I should do it. I'm going to do it before I go home. And you just let that build up this anxiety inside of yourself. And I've done this even with my wife, having conversations where I know that I don't want to have them. When I finally do it, and my wife's like, oh, okay, yeah, not a big deal, right? And you're going, what took me 3 days to bring that up? Why did I choose to wait so long? My mentor has always said, sometimes like we create this story in our head, like we feel like it's going to go really south and we don't want to engage. And like we actually create a conversation in our head that then isn't very appealing to us. What's the worst case scenario? What could happen? Let's think of the worst thing that could possibly happen. I had one recently where someone that I work with had to have a really challenging conversation. And so we went through the conversation together because she had to make this phone call. She didn't want to make that phone call. I didn't blame her for wanting to make that phone call. And here's what I said to her. You just got to get it done. She's like, I feel so bad. I screwed up. I'm like, people screw up, but you have to have the conversation. And between myself and my wife and her, we talked about this for a few minutes. As she walked out of the office and walked down the hall, she started to get kind of sad, right? With her head down, walked down the hall and goes, I don't know how I can get away from this. How do I get away from this call? You can't. You gotta have it. It's mandatory that this call happens, and it happens immediately. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get it done. Get it over with. Here's what's really great about that. 10 minutes later, she's literally doing cartwheels. I mean, not cartwheels, but she was excited, right? Skipping down, so happy, comes in, goes, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I told them what had happened, and they were like, what a blessing that is, because we didn't want that anyway. So we are so happy it turned out this way. And I'm like, wow, isn't it crazy? She put in her brain, in her mind, of the pain that was going to happen in this conversation. The absolute opposite thing happened. And so as we always talk about success not being convenient, she was thinking, man, this is going to be painful. The heartache I'm going to have to go through, the emotion that I'm going to have to deal with, the disappointment I have in myself, the frustration I'm feeling, that gut kind of feeling, you're like, oh, I'm feeling sick inside because I have to have this conversation. I don't want to have it. She played this in her head and created the worst case scenario. 10 minutes later, comes back and goes, I can't believe how great that went. So some interesting thought there, right? When you look at it and go, how much of a difficult conversation do we create that actually isn't really that difficult, but we created a tsunami effect in our mind that actually turned out to be really nothing but a beautiful conversation that was enlightening and perfect. And I've had that in conversations that I've had. I've had that in being married for 34 years to my wife, where I've had conversations that I thought were going to be pretty difficult. And you know what? I put more pressure on myself for having a difficult conversation before I actually had the conversation. And I leave that and went, man, why did I go through all that? Like, why did I put myself in that position where so much emotional and turmoil came about with the decision. Just a thought for you guys. What if you just got it out of the way? What if you just made the call and got it out of the way? I mean, immediately, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just got it done. Where else do you procrastinate things where you're making decisions or having tough conversations or even doing anything in your life where it's a more difficult task? And you're like, I'm going to put that off. I'm going to put that off. I'm going to put that off. If that's you, it's okay. You're probably millions of people that have that problem, because procrastination, feeling ill about having to do something you don't really want to do is pretty normal. But successful people, leaders, and people who want to accomplish things and get them off their plate find ways to do this sooner. Something I've learned is just get it off your plate, have the conversation, and move on. If they're going to be angry today, they're going to be angry in 3 days. Why put yourself through 3 days of agonizing thought over it, and just get it done right now? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And make it happen. Hope you guys enjoyed this message, because I think that it affects a lot of people, and our goal is to try to improve lives daily by making decisions. I hope you guys have a great day.